Hello, everybody. How are you? It is so good to see all of you. Hello, hello. Wow, looks like we've got pretty good amount of people here wanting to learn how to do portrait quilts. So I am very excited. And so it's so good to see you. I have been working the past 2 days on this quilt, working very hard to get ready for tonight's show. So if you're ready, I will hold up the worksheet of what I've done so far. Here it is. So I would say it's working. I would say it is working. And so I'm very excited about it. I just noticed something when I just held it up. It looks like his mouth is going down just a little too much. So I've got to make sure to um, make notes to raise up that. But I was over there looking for fabrics that I might want to use for the shirt. I'm a little nervous about putting, I'm afraid it's going to overpower the colors on the shirt. But I thought, oh, wouldn't that be cool? But I'll have to wait and see. That'll be my last choice. But I did at least start looking so that I can kind of have an idea. So I'm going to tell you, like I've told you before, this is not my thing. I thought I would like it. And I thought the more I get used to it, then the easier it'll seem and the more I'll be liking it. But I've got to be honest, ladies, it's it is a lot of struggle for me. It is a lot of second guessing, tension. It's hard. It's hard for me. So let me do something. I don't know why, but my computer stand is leaning down too much. Something is weird with it. I like it to be more raised. There we go. I like it to be more raised because that way when I have to check the screen, I'm not looking so far away from you all. So hello, hello, hello. But anyway, as I was saying, I have a wee bit of a headache. I worked about 10 hours on it the last 2 days. And it's I am going to hand it to Miss Jody. She's amazing. It's a lot for me. And honestly, I realize why I love my collage landscapes because it's not so it's not so rigid. It's not so confusing. I just cut and put it there. Oh, doesn't look right. Pull it off, put another one. This is just a little bit more, ooh, it's more, is it, what do they call it? Right brain? It's more, um, oh, thanks. I just realized Jody has a very analytical mind. She is really good at the minutia, and I'm terrible at it. So I'm glad I'm making this because this is going to be a gift for my son and his wife. And I think they are going to love it. I mean, who wouldn't love having the picture of their babies immortalized in fabric? But I got to tell you, it's a lot of concentration for me and I get a headache. Oh, thank you, Miss Denise. Yeah, maybe that's true because I've made stupid mistakes because I'm like nervous. I'm afraid I'm going to get it wrong. But I'm going to peek here and see who all is here. Marcia, First Lady here, sweetheart. Melanie, so good to see you. It's cold and dreary with rain. Oh, but it sounds nice. You're knitting a lap blanket. Speaking of knitting, it's not really knitting, but it's knitting's best cousin. I got some yarn in today. I ordered it from Amazon and I just love the colors. And when the weather starts getting chilly and the nights get longer, I start wanting to crochet. So, Marcia, we'll do some crocheting, okay? So, that is neat. All right. So, Laura's here. Hi, Laura. I saw Laura at yesterday's textile talks. It was so neat. Laura, did you see my answer? I had stepped away and then I came back and saw her comment and answered her back as quickly as I could. But whoops, that is, Laura's going to be 90 degrees tomorrow. Here it's chilling down. In fact, this weekend we're gonna get to a low of like 44 degrees, which means I really should bring my house plants in unless I get enough sheets to maybe I can cover them with sheets and they won't take it so badly. But anyway, we're going to go see my grandson's band competition. He's in a wonderful marching band. I can't wait. And in fact, today is my granddaughter's 19th birthday. Happy birthday, Charlie. So, real happy for her, but it's a good family time. So, but Laura, it was so good seeing you, hon. Marcia may have frost. Yikes, that's a little early. Denise is here. Hi, Denise. Denise has got a sweet spirit. So, and Jody. Oh, Jody, I have so much respect for you. Now you know why I adore your portrait quilts because I knew just from looking at it that wasn't going to be something that was very easy for me to do. So, you are amazing, girlfriend. You are the champ and you always will be. Mitty is here. Yay! I hope, Laura, it will get easier. I really, really do. Oops, I think I skipped over something. Yeah, so I'm hoping it will. Cheryl is here. Oh, hi, your grandson. First name for him? We can say hi to him. Oh, that is so neat. I love that idea of you sitting there with the grandson. So we'd love to say hello, just first name. So we keep it very you know, very careful. But oh, and Denise likes to crochet too. That's wonderful. So, oh, this is great to see all of you. You bought mink colored yarn. That sounds wonderful. Hi, Will. Hi, Will. What a big boy you are. Oh, you're visiting Nana, Grandma? That's wonderful. Hi, Will. That is so cute. Okay. And we have a guest. Do we have a guest? I don't know. So, anyway, he'll be 4 next week. Oh, that's wonderful. My oldest grandson, well, not my oldest. My oldest is in the Marines, but of the young two, the ones I'm doing here, he's 4. And what a fun age. What a fun age. Well, thank you, everyone, for I'll have to tell her that. So, what kind of brown is that? I'm not sure. What kind of brown is what? Oh, mink colored. Yes. Oh, I bet you that's pretty. Okay. So, I'm going to bring the camera over here. Oh, also, I do want to tell you, I have been working on a sheet. Oh, I've got something else too. I saw another website from a woman who's prolific. Dark brown. That sounds about right, Marcia, for a mink color. But I saw a website that you might like. This woman does a lot of portrait quilts, has a lot of experience. So I'm going to paste it on here so you can go and find her site. And then I'll also put that shortcut of the site on our group's IO. And also, I'd hope to get that paper. I just need to buckle down and concentrate. I'm so happy Mark's home, and I've slept so long the past couple days because I was like, have had such bad, poor sleep when he was gone. Never got REM sleep because I would only sleep a couple hours at a time. So I said, "Oh, he'll be home Sunday, and then I can get some sleep." Then he reminded me, I have to go into the office Monday and Tuesday. Well, that means guess who's getting up to feed the dogs because he leaves so early. So finally, Wednesday, yesterday, and today he was home, and I slept till noon both days. So I feel much better, much, much better. So, anyway, yeah, what does Marcia have planned for hers? And on our website, I'm going to be putting a crochet pattern for pumpkin and a paper piece pattern for pumpkin. Little things, just fun things for you to work on. And I'll put this site, Terry Ask, and very talented lady. Something warm. That's a great answer, Marcia. That's great. All right. So I will bring you over here now. But the paper, I have been doing research and adding information. And I just thought it's kind of like, okay, how do we even get started doing this? And I put some important things that Jody has taught me and that I've read. And that way you can have a paper to go to say, portrait quilts. Let's start. So I'll try my best to have it on there tonight. And because it's almost close. All right, here we go. Let me bring you over here. And up here, I have whoops, I need another little piece of tape. I love having my organization going. And on that paper, I will make sure to have an email that shows you where you can get one of these organizational sheets. Comes from Karen Frick's website, and I'll give you a shortcut to her website. All right. My daughters are talking because I'll show you real quick what they're talking about. I love this kind of stuff. And I asked her, "Can I show my ladies what you've been doing?" And she said, "Sure." She saw it online, but you know how we are when we see stuff online. We love passing it along. Look, let me bring the picture up bigger. Look at this that she made. She saw it online, and what it is these little flat wooden pieces of house and the ghost. She painted them black. She glued them together with wooden skewers in a line, and then she put a little mini purple string of lights behind it. Is that the cutest? She said she got the houses from the dollar store. So be on the lookout for that. So that's why my phone is my phone is lit up because both my girls are like, "Oh, you did that. That's so cute." And all that stuff. So we're each other's biggest fans when it comes to all of this wonderful stuff. All right, now I'm going to bring it down here. We love creating. I think I told them if they had hobbies, it would just be so good for their whole lives. So I'm going to have to, that mouth shouldn't be hanging down like that. So I will have to remember that. Yeah, I'm going to put a pin here to, to remind me. Although, you know what? I'm not going to forget that. Okay, so this is my Donnie, my 3-year-old grandson. And I'll turn it this way so you can see it's coming together really well. I have a few little concerns. I wish I had had a bigger variety of shades. Let me turn that back off here. Okay. Wish I had a more variety of shades of purple because I think a couple of my shades are a little close. So we'll see. But you know what I thought of? Let's say I feel like this color number 3 is too close to color number 2. I can always come in with my ink tints and I can kind of just bring a little bit more into that. And but I've got his hair, and their hair is black. So I love the highlights. I picked a kind of bluey purple because you know how black hair can shine blue. Oh, come on, stop. So anyway, but I'm getting more and more in. I was trying to decide about shirts, but I'm going to leave the decision about the shirts until the heads are finished because I haven't chosen my background. And I had this out, I first thought about. Then I found this in a drawer today. That might work. So I'm just going to see. But you know what? It might blend in too much. So I might have to go a whole different way, but I'm not going to worry about making those decisions because what I have found in my life is that I have to get a little further into the project. Oh, thank you. Well, I tell you what, anything that I do right on this, I want Jody to get the credit. Anything I do wrong on this is my problem. How you like that? Is that a good recommendation for our Miss Jody? We love her to bits. All right. So I was going to start to do the eyes. I haven't done the little tiny little pieces. I've gotten most of the bigger swaths done. In fact, let me well, the best pattern I can use is right here. So I've gotten the the 4, the 3, the 2, the 1, I've got the hair, I've got the 4 here and the 5 here, and these two little bits, and the 4 and 5 here. Now I need to start doing this bit of shading in the hair, but I've gotten the lips done, the nose is pretty done. Um, so I've got the neck right around here done, but what I wanted to do is I really wanted to do the eyes. Well, to do the eyes, I did an eye when I was upstairs listening to my audiobook of the day. And I did the eyes and it turned out backwards. I don't know why I keep doing that, but it just some of these pieces I would go to do them to put them on. And honest to goodness, it would let me get one more piece of tape, it would be backwards. So you've got to pay attention. And I think that's why I have such respect because find it I find it a little difficult. It's a tricky thing. I wanted to put a second piece of tape because this sheet keeps going like this too much. I thought about putting one up top, but I'm always going back and forth. Well, if you put the light on, I can see the pattern through. So I'm always going back and forth to see if I have things placed right. But here is the eye pattern that I made today. And for whatever reason, it was backwards. So I'm going to try to make another one. Now this is the side that I made the pattern with. When I put it together, I use the back of this because then it'll be in the right configuration. It'll be back to reversed. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I'm going to make another one and have Jody tell me what she thinks I'm doing wrong. All right. So, but here is the little pattern piece that I made. And in fact, one thing that I did, yeah, here is the eye that I made. I tried pulling it back apart, but here is the eye that I made. But unfortunately, it's backwards. So I'm going to start again. Let me find, and feel free to ask any questions. I'll stop and answer them. I wanted to put, they have such a nice, outline for their eye that, let me see. Let me see here. But I was thinking of doing a dark, yes, they naturally have a dark eye line around their eye. So I took my piece of darkest dark. Let me grab some of my darkest darks. I tell you what, though, I realize I'm always short of the darkest dark and but mostly the lightest light. But what I thought I would like to do is take the shape of the eye and cut. It's going to be like an eyeliner around the eye. Hi, Michelle the quilter. Oh, it's going to be cold. Wow. So what I'm going to do, I don't want it to be too big, but I want it to go around the shape of the eye to do that eyelining. Now, you don't have to do this. I'm trying it to see how it's going to work, but I could always come back with my micron pen and do any outlining. I could also, oh gosh, it is hard. My brain doesn't work well backwards. I have a hard enough time doing things forward. But micron, I could always come and outline with the micron. But I'm just trying this to see if it will work. So I'm cutting it about an eighth of an inch bigger than the eye pattern. But now, this is where I kind of got in trouble. Let me tell you why. Because if I cut this out this way, then when I go to put it down, will it be backwards? I, but what I'm going to do too, I don't want this dark fabric behind the pieces of the eye fabric, because if I put this over there, it turns darker than it should be. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you this with the chalk. I'm going to draw a line around the inside of this to remind me to cut the middle out once I have it together. I'm going to leave a little, enough of this so that it gets caught with the outside of the fusible, but so that it'll remind me to cut the middle part out of this. All right, so that is right there. I've been losing pieces all day long. Ah, okay, so now I've got the background. Now here is my pattern piece, and I have an additional one cut out with extra fusible, because what I'm going to try to do is build it up. And so I have the iris here, and there's two shades inside the eye, and then there are two white dots. I don't have the other one on there, but there, let me see. No, this is this eye. Okay. Yep, there's a white little thing here. Now, I had made some white fusible that I had here so that that was already done. Here is the original eye that that I had the pattern out of. Okay. So now, where is my little yeah, here was the other eye one that I had cut out. The problem is I didn't leave enough of an edge and it made it very wonky. Okay, let me try to find this. If not, I'll make a new one. But this has been one of my problems all day too, is what did I do with that? Oh poo, I'll make a new one. So I've done that all day. All right, let me get a clean. This is a scrap, so it has interfacing in places. I have to, like, where is a clean area? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just peel this off, put it behind it so that I can have ready to go fusible dots for the eyes. Let me get my iron warmed up. I've got my glue. All right. All right. And I want to make sure I get the eye the right size. because when I did the other eye, it kind of looked big. And I got a little worried that it was going to look a little freaky. So, okay. Whoops, not iron on the fusible. Oh, I accidentally forgot to take the back paper off the fusible and tried to iron it in place, which totally messed up the pattern piece of fusible because then it kind of became a piece of cement. And I tried taking the paper off and it wouldn't come off right. I had to cut the whole piece again. So I've had a lot of trying to get used to dealing with the whole fusible thing, the whole reverse thing. It's been a little tricky for me, but okay. And trying not to lose pieces. That's another thing. If I cut things out of the fabric too fast, I will lose them too early. And oh, I had a couple things I needed to tell you. Couple things that I have found during the process. One of them is I drew all the pattern pieces on here with pencil. The problem is when I go to peel off the back paper, press this on the wrong side of the fabric, you lose the pencil. Somehow, I don't know, you just can't see it good enough. So I recommend that you come in with a permanent pen. Now, you can use a ballpoint pen, but I've noticed this paper doesn't want to accept it. It doesn't want to hold on to it. So come in here and use this or a micron or an ink pen. If you just with an ink pen, you kind of have to go back and forth to make sure. But the pencil's too light. When you iron it on the fabric, you can't see it good. Now, the other hint that I have for you is what was it? Outline this. Oh, when I go to do the other grandson's photo, I'm going to number each one of these and each one of those pieces. The reason is I have had a mell of a hess time trying to um, find the pieces that I need for the right place. So I highly recommend people that if you're like me and you're like, okay, now where would the piece that goes here? I thought it would be easier to figure out. Well, it is with the bigger ones, but some of the weird little ones, that's really tough to figure out. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Denise. So what I'm going to do with Russell's is I'm going to go over his pictures over here, and I'm going to mark 1, 2, 3. I mean, it'll probably be 100 numbers, but it's too hard to figure out. And thank goodness that when I changed from Donnie's paper pieces, or fusible pieces, I put a R for Russell. So I would know these go to that one. The D's are for Donnie. Oh, it's tough. So I'm getting the hang of it. I mean, I don't want to turn anybody off on this. It's not that it's tough, it just takes concentration. So don't have conversations with people, don't answer phone calls, lock yourself in your sewing space, and don't let anyone come in because I just got overwhelmed. All right. So oh, this is, hold on. Huh. Is this side? Let me see. Yeah, okay. So I do have, there's this eye. There's the paper piece part of it. So, oh, I've got two scraps. So what I'm going to do here, since I've got two of these, I'm going to kind of cut this out so I can have all the separate pieces. And what I'm going to do, which is what Jody told me that I totally agree with, is I'm going to use the light color to build all of to build everything on. So what I'm going to do here is take this, whoops, wrong scissors. It doesn't take long for paper to really, yeah, paper to dull your scissors. So please be careful. I know it seems silly to have two pairs, but it makes a difference. All right. All right. Now, so what I'm doing is making a base out of the lightest color. And then I'm going to build onto that because with this piece being so small, not having a base, it just, the first time I did it, it got so tricky. And in fact, you can see how trying to get it to hold together and stuff was going to be difficult either way. Actually, the eye went like that. Okay, so now I have the base, and onto this base, then I will stick the rest of the pieces. And yay, I've got the base left from the eye that didn't work well. I save all these little pieces of fusible. It makes me crazy. I need to stop being so darn frugal because, honestly. All right. So now what I'm going to do is put this on the back of this base like that. And I'm going to put the paper back on the base to keep the sticky from picking up all the thread bits. You've got to be careful when you're working with this because honest to goodness, I mean, there are just so many things that can make it a little more difficult. So now I have paper on the back. Here is my lightest color of the eye. Now I cut out this piece. So I'm going to take off the paper backing, stick this on my number 6 color, which is my darkest. I could have used black, but I'm really enjoying staying with the purple theme. Okay, so now, if you want, you can use warm hands and kind of push or whatever. If you're afraid it won't stick good enough, then you can just touch it with an iron. I'm going to go ahead now and cut this out and start building my eye. But it's just a matter of take your time. I learned to just cut off my audio book and go, oh, let's try this again. And because there were certain times I just, poor Mark, I almost snapped at him because he wanted to come tell me something. And I was trying to figure out what is back, what is front. But luckily, I'm like, just chill, Deb. It's okay. All right. So this is the top of the eye. And then, so I'll take it and put it this way. But just be careful. Pay attention. That's the best thing I can tell you. I am a flaky personality. Some people might call it artistic, but it's kind of flaky too. Whoops. I just made the fabric wanted to the fusible wanted to stick on the fabric, but I took it off. I took it off the wrong way. Okay, now leave the fusible against the fabric. I'm going to zoom you in for this one. All right, and it's going to go at the top of the eye right here. In fact, it has a little bit much. I'm going to take off just a little bit of that. Sometimes when you draw and cut, it can add just a smidge to the piece, then it loses the correct shape. So now this goes even with the top of the eye. And I'm going to really check my, look, I can take where I cut it out, check my placement of this, making sure that I've got it pretty good. All right. Double check. Okay. Now, I think I have this eye upside down. You think it doesn't matter, but I kept looking and went, wait a minute. This is where it takes time to think. And if it would help you, yeah, this is going to be much better now. If it would help you, you can even write notes, arrows on your pattern pieces. And so you know which way is up and which way is down. All right, so this is pretty good, but I'm not even going to iron it yet. I'm not going to take chances. Now I need to have two little bits of a number 5. This is a number 4. The iris is number 6. So I need 2 bits of number 5. Okay. So I'm going to cut these off and add those to the number 5 fabric. Okay, and this is what I'm going to use for number 5. So let me peel off the back paper. My eyeballs are kind of like, we're getting tired. You've been doing this too many hours. But I can't wait to give them this art. I mean, I would have loved someone to have given me art of my children when they were little. Oh, treasure it. Okay. Now with this, I'm going to go ahead and just tap it with the iron like that. All right. Then cut it out. And these eyes are important because you want to have these as accurate as possible. Now, since I'm doing this in purple, I got thinking, should I do a whites of the eye and try to make it look, I'm going with the plan until I know anything differently. All right, so this eye part, let me peel off this paper, leave the fusible on the fabric, and then get it turned in the right direction and place it. There you go. And check again, check the distance that you have it. In fact, okay, let me pull this in front of the camera. But check the distance of the line. That's the thing. You can't be sloppy about this. If you're sloppy about this, it's not going to work. So get that piece right there. Don't be sloppy because it's these little tiny things that really make it work. Now I have to do this really tiny piece of the eye right over here. I mean, this is tiny. All right, let me get. I wish I had brought down some tweezers. Feel free to use tweezers when you do this because it is that small and that finicky. Now let me touch the iron to this. Oops, I'm off camera. Sorry about that. That's the only problem with zooming in. But this tiny, well, let me just cut it out and put it in, see how it does. All right. Now, the fusible is on there. Oops, no. Okay. But it would help if I had some tweezers. So some of this, it really is good to have tweezers. All right. And this, I've got to have it turned the right way. I think this. Okay. So it goes right here. All right. So let me put this paper back behind it. I'm going to give this just a little touch with the iron. Okay. And I'm at just a little touch. It's just to try to hold these pieces together. All right, so this is where it's going to go right here. Now I'm going to get a piece of my white that I've already got the fusible on. Okay, and I need to make a slight little. Now, I know I could cut this actual piece out, but oh my goodness, it's so tiny. I'm just going to do this real quick. Okay. And sometimes, even after cutting it out, I'll continue to narrow it down even small because it is, whoops, where did that piece go? Hold on. Mm, that's the problem. They're so tiny. It's like, where are they? It disappeared. So I'll cut another one. That's the benefit of having this already cut prepared. So you can just cut another one real quickly. It's stuck to the scissors, I think. I think that's it. Yep, there it is. Okay. So I took the paper off. Let me see if I can get it to fit. Okay, and it's a little bit too big, so sometimes I'll tack it into shape and then trim it up a little. But it's I feel like it's very important to get it as close to the shape intended as possible because all of these shapes denote curvature of the eye. It helps keep it as authentic as possible. All right. And then this next one, I know there's a pattern piece. I'm going to cut this out by hand because it will drive me nuts if I try to do this with a pattern piece. And the main thing is make it small enough. Don't don't start making it up as you go. Try to keep right on with the size and everything. All right. So here's the next white piece that goes on the eye. And then as soon as I get this in place, I'm going to touch the iron to this. Okay. Paper fell off. Hopefully. Oops. Come on. Oh, come on. There. Yep. There's the sticky. So here we go. And I put this right here. So it's a little, that's why I was telling you, it's a little finicky, but honestly, it's cool in a way because you follow the pattern. You don't, you're not having to figure everything out of how to do it. It's just following the instructions. That's the important part. This needs to move up just a little more. All right, so put it there, check, see how it looks, check it with the pattern, the original pattern. And it should, I've got this purple a little bit too big, so I'm going to take a little bit of this off. Okay. So that's why don't until you've really 1, 2, 3 checked it out 3 times. Don't get too busy with the iron because you want to be able to have a chance to make these tiny changes. Like right here, I'm going to make a little change to this little piece right here. Okay. Now I'm probably getting a little too into the weeds, but I'm trying to make it the best I can at every step, because if I do that, the good thing is it will look more like my dear grandson by the time I'm finished. So I feel like right now it's too important. All right. So now what I'm worried about is this going to be able, and see, then if I put it on this one, then then whoops, you have the outline. But I got to see first if I've got it right or not. Now, that eye, so it's this eye. Yes, this eye. Okay. And don't iron on your light board. I think you'd be very disappointed. All right. Then the placement of that. You know what I'm going to do to make sure I have the right placement? It's really hard to see through here. Um, when the fabrics start getting thicker and thicker. So I'm going to take a pin, believe it or not, and put it through the paper and the Teflon sheet to show me where the outside edge of that eye is. Oops, a little too far over. Come back in. All right. So there is one pin. Let me grab another pin and come put it in the corner here. Because I realized today, how do you know if you've got these in the right place? It's if the fabric gets too thick, it's hard to see. Okay, be careful with your light board. You don't want to damage your light board. I just want these to just be stuck so they can kind of stand up. Okay, just a little. All right. So here is the eye. Now let me see. See, I think that's backwards. I don't know. They are so important. All right. Yep, this is backwards. How in the world did that come out backwards? I think I did something in the way I cut it up. But I think by layering it the way I did, I kind of went, "Hi, Rose." So what I'm going to have to do, you know what? I think, let me see. Let me see if I got the shape right first. Because I think I can, now that I have a base, it's all one, I can just put it all around the other. Yeah. I think that what I can do is move this one. Let me put it, oh, don't want to lose that little, whoop, that little white part of the eye. I'm going to take this off. And I don't know how this came out opposite, but it is. So I guess because normally I would take and put, yeah, yeah, this is I know now how I'm doing it wrong. Normally you would put this on the back of the fabric, which means when you turn it over, bing, it would be right. All right. So okay, now I see why I'm doing that. So I need to have this piece. Let's see if I can get it off easily enough. I think I did kind of iron a piece of this down, but if you're careful, and that's why you just pat the iron on it, you just carefully lift that part off, then lift this part off carefully. And it may be that when you try to pull some of these little pieces off, the threads come apart. It's like, I got them both off. Okay. So now, what I'm really trying to do, let me peel off this back. This is the way the eye goes, like this. So can I do that? Actually, it's all lining up really good. So now what I need to do, and I'm going to draw this so that you can understand what I'm doing. Because this is how come I keep getting confused about what's the back and what is the front. Okay, so what I did is I made these darker so that now I can turn it over, see, and draw it back here. All right. Okay. So what I did is I drew all the lines on the back now. So this way I can see if I'm doing it correctly. Gosh, did I do any of that in this scene? I hope not. I hope I did. All right. So now I have this piece, and it's going to tell me I have to have the bigger triangle over this side. So I'll put the bigger one here. Okay. And let's say worst comes to worst and your fusible, because you've handled it so much, won't stick. Well, I've got an answer for that. There we go. I have some glue. So, okay. Whoops. I better back up. I'm worried I am. Yeah. All right. So here we are. So I'm putting the triangle right here. And if that ends up not wanting to stick good, I'll get some more glue. Here's the other tiny dark triangle that I now need to put it right over here. Just try not to let yourself get upset. Last night I forget what piece it was, but I had done it backwards 2 times. So you know what I did? I just put everything down and said, go take a break. All right, so now I need to get my cute little, get these and put these back in place. All right, so this one, where is my other little white one? I may have to cut a new one, but this one goes, here we go. This one goes right here. So this way, by writing on the opposite side of the pattern, then it says, this, you're doing it right if you do it this way. Okay, there is one more little tiny piece of white that I may have to cut back out because it might have run away from me. All right, so I'll get my white again. Where is my white piece of fabric? This is the hardest part of all. This I want to put behind it. Let me, okay, this will go behind the eye. Where is my white fabric? Sometimes, here it is. Okay. Sometimes when I'm cleaning something up, whoops, see, just like that, just talking and breathing can mess it up. All right, this one's going to go in the eye, and it looks like, yeah, it looks like a little partial moon. So be prepared when you're working on this. Be prepared to have times where you just have to walk away and do something else. And that is okay. I mean, there are so many things in life I have to do that with. So walk away and start again later. This is actually, too, I am loving doing my triptych right now. So what I do is when this gets overwhelming, I go do my triptych. So, okay. So now this is going to be facing his nose. Okay. Let's see. Closer to his nose than outside of his head. Ah. Yeah, you see why having tweezers can be really wonderful. Okay. When you pull it off and put it back on, it can lose a little bit of stickiness. So in that case, use your glue. All right. So here is the eye, and you've got to, what gets picky too is getting rid of the tiny little threads that kind of get in the way, like that. That's why I like to actually do it in front of you and show you, because I could say, oh, cut out all these little pieces, then put them together and then put them on the eye. But guess what? It's a little harder than that. And and if it happens to you, I want you to go, ah, okay, I remember this part. So, okay. But you will get these little threads that just want to come off, and just carefully try to clean it up. Now, I'm going to put it on this eye. Let me see that I've got it the right direction. There, that's better. The fabric was a little long. Okay. It didn't quite want to fit. I had to figure out why. All right. Now, let me bring, here is another one of the patterns. I'm checking the size. I don't know why, but sometimes they want to look a little bit too big. So you just double check. All right. Take off a little bit. Just making sure that I've got that shape the best that I can make it, because that's where it really makes a difference. That's how I know it really is going to be my Donnie. But every time we draw a line, you're taking up a little bit more space. Okay. Here we go. All right, so now that I have this, so all I have to say is none of my kids better have any more grand grandchildren for me, because I don't think I'm gonna do this one again. But it's been fun, but it's been real, but that's it. Okay, so now I'm gonna lay it on here. Right, and then I want to make sure, I want to look at their eye and see, like right here, this is going to be this eye. Oh, this eye. Okay. So they don't have as much dark behind the eye there on the inside as they do the outside. So I'm going to trim this a little closer. And then trim this off a little more, because they don't have as much of the dark under their eye as they do on top. Okay. All right, now what I'm going to do is come and tweak off some of this fabric on the back because I don't want it's such intensely dark fabric. I don't want it to darken my front fabric. So let me just take this, just fold it in half, do a cut right down the middle, and then leave just over 1/8 of an inch because you want it to be able to be fused solidly with the front part of the eye. Then when I'm all done with this, I'll cut a piece of fusible to go behind this eye, to go behind this outline if I need it. I might be able to just put a couple little drops of glue. Okay, so now I've gotten out most of the background, so it shouldn't darken my eye itself. I'm going to then place this back on here. And it's funny how the eye can take up as much time as it took me to do almost half the face, but that's okay because you want to get it right, like they said. Like, I forget who it was just said. All right, so I'm going to lay this down. Whoops, lay this down. Get it laying just right. I have one chance to do this right. I'm not going to iron it until I get a non-stick sheet behind it right here. Although I don't want to, where is my non-stick? I'll just pull this down for now. All right, so because there is some fusible behind the majority part of the eye. So I need to press this to make sure it's in the right place. But now, are you getting my idea of it being a little finicky? But what a treasure it will be for them to have this. So, okay, finicky, yeah, but worth it. Okay, there. Whew. And I just do a quick little, you don't want to over press it. You can break down the fusible. When you overfuse a fusible on fabric, you can loosen the glue. Then if the glue goes into the fabric fibers, there's not enough for it to stick anymore. So that's the problem. Don't over press at any point because it will lose all of the stickiness. Okay, let me see. Let me see again if this is right here. Ooh, pretty darn close. Oops. All right, so that, yep, that goes there. I think I've got the placement. Okay. Now, it won't look normal. It will not look normal until you put the other lines around it. But, whoo, finally, we've got an eye, people. But now you see, I hope you can understand. Now, I'm not sure that that's exactly perfect, so I'm just going to do just that enough to hold it in place. Let me do it a little touch more. I'm going to hold it in place until I'm sure, and I moved it off the light board, but I'm going to do that just enough. But once you start putting the eyes in, then you get the grandchild. So there we go. Now, so I will continue working finish him off, try to decide what I'm going to use for the shirt, depending on, see, because when I'm fully done with this, then I just will lift this off and set this entire thing onto the background that I've chosen. And once I've gotten, let me get this back down. Um, then once I've chosen the background I like it, then I just carefully come under here, loosen it up, get it off, position it on the background. Then we're done. Oh, I know. I will have memorized every little thing about them. You know what's neat is I asked Mark today, I said, which one of the grandsons is this? And he said, Donnie. And I went, yes, good job. So if he can tell it's Donnie, then that's a good thing. All right. So we're getting there. And it is amazing what you can do. Whoops, turn that off. It's amazing what you can do with the fabric. Let me hold this up in a better place. Value. It's critical. And one thing, understand, I haven't put many of the 4s and 5s on the face. So what happens is it can look a little too pale. Once you start adding in more of the value colors, then it really is going to come alive. So, what do you think? I think it will work. So, and like I said, I do need to raise up this part of his mouth. I think it was going down a little too much. So, I will work on that. And let's say you've ironed it down and then you decide you just don't like the way it looks. You may have to make a new pattern piece and new fabric. And you know what? When you have to do that, don't complain. Just do it. You'll be happy that you did. Because, what we can only do what we can only do. So, anyway, I'm hoping they'll treasure this. So, all right. And like I said, oh, and if anyone wants the pattern, the instructions, Jody's instructions, my project sheet, you have to provide your own grandchild. But anyway, let me do it again. I'm gonna have some chocolate night. Y'all talking about chocolate. Our time to quilt. And I'm still exercising twice a day. So I want to get in better shape at pwc.com. Because if I can't stay mobile enough, if this I let the sciatica take over, then unfortunately I give up some of my freedom. And I don't want to do that. So I just wanted to let you know I'm still exercising. So everybody, I think we have it. I think we're getting there. And oh, Diana's sewing adventures. Oh my gosh, I love the work that she is doing for her son. It's going to go over his bed. It is wonderful. Queen Anne's lace like you've never seen it before. So Diane, if you want to jot down notes, although you'll probably share it on your own channel, but oh my gosh, we would love to do something like that. It's gorgeous. I couldn't believe it. So we'll put that on our to-do list down the road. Oh, thank you, Miss Jody. You've worked very hard to get through this thick skull because the moment I get nervous, it's like nothing goes in. So Jody's been so patient with me, and she deserves the credit for this. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a good next couple days. I will see you Sunday. And I'm going on Saturday to see my grandson's marching high school band. Oh, I love that. Band was everything to me when I was in high school. It really saved me. It gave me purpose. So I'm loving that he loves it too. So I will see you all Sunday afternoon, 3:05 p.m. I will be here. That's Eastern time. I hope you will be here too. And those of you who are getting a little nip of cold temperatures, please stay warm. Melanie, get that blanket done fast. All right, and give Willow a kiss for us. Bye bye, Will, if you're still here. Bye bye, Will. Everyone, take good care. Do something good just for yourself. Okay? Bye bye, everybody. Y'all are the best. Always lift me up.